Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows, and then I come over here and I react to them. And today, I'm going to talk about the third part of the reunion of Sister Wives. It's not a reunion, it's the one-on-ones, which is really not a whole lot different than the confessionals that they do throughout the season, except for that the interviewer, Suki, asks them questions, and then they all answer it during different interviews, and then they compile it together like it's a reunion where they're sitting on the same couch, but they're not sitting on the same couch. Okay, so last night I watched the third part of the Sister Wives Season 19 one-on-ones, and I was so excited to watch it because I thought that it was the last part. I thought that it was the last part, and that Season 19 would finally be over, and that maybe we would find out if there was a Season 20. There's a lot of speculation if there's a Season 20 or not. A lot of people are saying this person's filming, this person's filming. A lot of people are saying Janelle's out, Christine and David are out. A lot of people are saying that Kody and Robyn are out, and it's just going to be the other wives. I don't know. I can't find any definitive confirmation that there is going to be a Season 20 of Sister Wives. So if you guys have it, please put it in the comment section below and let me know. But I was very excited because I thought, okay, let me just tell you something. Okay, I was telling my friend this last night because I was like, oh, I have to go watch Sister Wives. I am kind of past the point of this season. Like, I just need this season to be over. I love doing the reactions. And this is what I told her. I have more fun doing these reaction videos than I do actually watching the show. I'm kind of so over the show at this point. It's like they need to introduce new storylines or something new needs to happen because I am so over this show right now. I love doing the reactions and I love taking my notes and while I'm taking my notes, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into this in my video and whatever. But watching the show is just like, it's like watching paint dry, honestly. It is so boring. And on last night's part of I call it the reunion. On last night's part of the reunion, there were literally like lots of quiet spaces when Suki would ask a question and then the person that she was asking just like wouldn't even kind of respond for a second. It was one of the most boring interview reunion shows I have ever seen in my entire life. They went into this whole a lot of the things that they went into and talked about, I thought, are you guys really want your paycheck, don't you? Like, you're drawing this out as long as you possibly can. Because it just seemed to me like, okay, first of all, we're not asking the hard-hitting questions. We're asking questions like, from 20 years ago, did Kody give Janelle and Christine the luggage rack in the hotel room? Which is funny to watch, but we've already discussed that previously in the season, and it's at this point, it's like, why are we drawing this reunion out? It's so long, and I'm like, for over these stupid questions. And then when they do get asked a hard-hitting question, when Suki does ask him a hard-hitting question, none of them will really answer. Janelle and Christine are the only ones that will really answer. Robyn won't answer anything. Kody goes off into things that don't even make sense, which we'll get to in just a second, because there was a part where Mary said she paid for Leon's college and that none of the other wives contributed and that she paid for it on her own. And then when Suki asked Kody, like, is that true? He said Mary's house was taken care of. And I'm like, that's not an answer to the question. Like, it's so bizarre to watch. And even Mary is, like, snowed by Kody and Robyn. Still, to this day, she's still snowed by Kody and Robyn. Because there were things that she wouldn't even get into. And then they all talk in code. Like, Kody will say, I mean, you can tell how removed Janelle and Christine are, and that Mary's still kind of in it a little bit. And that Robyn and Kody think that everybody's still talking about them. I mean, the fans, we are. But, like, the wives are, like, Christine and David have moved on. You know, like, Christine just is, like, she's just showing up to the show because she signed a contract. Janelle feels very much the same way to me. But, like, Cody's like, oh, they're all obsessed with Robyn still. Nobody's obsessed with Robyn, Kody, except for you. I mean, that's just the truth. I'm rather bored of Robyn at this point. She doesn't really offer anything to the show. I mean, for a while, like, you know, when she didn't have her perfect Christmas and she was crying on the bathroom floor, it was kind of funny to watch. But she doesn't really offer anything to the show. So this old storyline of the wives are jealous of Robyn, no, they're not. They're not at all. And then they still talk in code. Like, Mary, Robyn, and Kody all talk in code about things they can't talk about because it would be so detrimental to the family. I mean, it's so bizarre. They did this whole thing about PDA, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, I mean, these are like 50-year-olds, okay? I'm 52 years old. I mean, to have if I was on an interview and somebody said to me, and I understand in the context of their religion, which they're none of them a part of anymore, and 30 years of marriage and on and on and on, but they had this very lengthy segment all about PDA and how they each feel about PDA today. I mean, if I was like interviewed and somebody said, well, what do you think about PDA? I'd say, is this like a serious question? Like, are you really asking me this? It doesn't really even apply to the context of the show anymore, except for Christine showing PDA towards David, and then they show the wedding, and they show them kissing, and she's an independent woman now, which I'm happy for her, you know, and all that kind of stuff, but it's like, and then they turn that into this whole situation of, how does Mary feel about PDA? How does Kody and Robyn feel about PDA? How does Janelle feel about PDA? It's like 15 minutes about PDA, and I'm like, there are a lot of other questions that I would like answered about these families, like, I mean, I know that they're not allowed to ask any questions about Garrison, but why not put Kody on the spot and say, what children do you have a relationship with today? What children do you speak to regularly? You know? Ask the mothers, ask Janelle, which one of your children? And she'll say, well, they will speak for themselves. Then say, okay, well, I mean, where does Kody interact with the family? Why do people blame Robyn for all this kind of stuff? You know, what are specific examples? And it was interesting because every time Suki would ask somebody for a specific example, they really couldn't give a specific example. And I'm like, 30 years, and I mean, Christine and Janelle were the only ones that would give specific examples, which is interesting because they're the ones that are so far removed. So I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm just like, why are we dragging this reunion out so long? It's like, it's so bizarre. Now, next week, I looked it up. There was actually an article that came out, I think it was on MSN or something like that. I found it. It came out like in April, and it did say that there was going to be 4 parts to the reunion. So I could have looked it up and found it out a long time ago. But next week is the finale of Sister Wives. I cannot wait. Unless there's like a special afterwards where we are all going to go with David and Christine to their honeymoon like we did with the wedding, but I hope that's not the case. Anyway, I did want to see, I found out online, or I looked online, and I found this article, and it had in there what some people were saying online, and I thought some of these comments were interesting that people said about the, like, the reunion so far. They said one viewer wrote, I think this is from MSN, one viewer wrote, I am absolutely delighted that Mary is finally seeing Robyn for the manipulative bee that she is. A second pinned, they stall for the first episodes and have 2 minutes of dirt we already learned online. I 100% agree with that. It's like, there's nothing in the reunion. I mean, reunions are usually where you find things out that you never knew throughout the seasons or whatever, but we're talking about things from 20 years ago. And they say at the beginning of it, we're talking about the past, we're talking about the present, we're talking about the future. I mean, that's kind of how they get around it, but then another viewer said, it's been said before, but I'll say it again. Make them answer the questions all on one couch, or they don't get paid for the season. I know TLC doesn't want to tick off their leading showcast, but what TLC is missing is that the only 2 who would complain are the 2 who need the money the most. The new McMansion has Kody and Robyn in a financial pickle that could be exploited for a decent tell-all. Deduced a third fan. And finally a fourth wrote, so when all is said and done, we will still be a full year behind real time when this season wraps up. Cool. You know, I mean, I have really come hard for TLC production, and this is another example of, it's just bullshit TV is really what it is, you know? And they've sold us this idea of what their family was, and, you know, I went in and I looked, and let me just tell you, I found out that each member of Sister Wives, it says on here, earns $40,000 per episode. Not like the kids and stuff, but that includes Kody, Robyn, Mary, Janelle, and Christine. For season 19, with 24 episodes, each adult cast member could potentially earn around $960,000. So that means that Kody and Robyn earn $2 million off this season alone, okay? So you've got cast members that are making $1 million, okay? Now, just to put this in perspective, Vanderpump Rules, when they had the final season, or the season before the final reunion, when Ariana Madix had to sit on the same stage with Tom Sandoval and Raquel Levitt, who had an affair on Ariana, she had to sit there, okay, with her ex that cheated in her bedroom and had to confront them. I mean, there's been so many things that have happened on these different kinds of Real Housewives reunions and stuff, and they made very similar amount of money. I think they made $70,000 an episode. So I don't think it's fair to ask, as fans that have kept this show going, as an audience, if you're not going to put them on a couch together, quit the show. Like, if you're not willing to sit down in a reunion, put them in a big warehouse room, have them sit in different corners. But the problem is this, okay, is that, and I do believe that Janelle and Christine and Mary would show up to a combined reunion unless Kody got to Mary first and said, don't do it. But if Kody and Robyn don't want to show up to the reunion, like any other reunion, okay, this is happening on Atlanta right now. Britt Eady isn't showing up to the reunion because she's suing Bravo. And it's happened before when Lisa Vanderpump didn't show up to a Real Housewives reunion, okay? And they get fired for not showing up to the reunion. If Kody and Robyn don't want to show up to a joint reunion where they all sit down, then say at the beginning of it, Kody and Robyn declined from being part of this reunion, and then have the other 3 wives. We'll get more out of that than we will if Kody and Robyn are sitting in a chair and Suki asks Christine something and then takes it back. I don't even know. I was trying to figure it out last night. Like, they do the interview separately, right? So, like, Kody does an interview, and then Christine does an interview. I mean, they must have done them, like, in segments. Like, they must have done Kody, and then come back 2 hours later and done Kody, and then come back 2 hours later and done Kody again. Because Suki asks, like, Kody things that Janelle said in a previous interview during the reunion. So it can't just be, like, one sit-down interview with them, where they just sit down and they do, like, 2 hours, and then it's like they're done. It has to be where they're all there together. And, I mean, they have to all be there in Sedona, Arizona together at the same place. And then Robyn's interviewed for an hour. And then Janelle's interviewed for the hour. So if they're all, because if you watch the reunion, she'll say, like she said to Kody, well, David said that he'd be willing. She asks Kody, you know, like, would you be able to have a relationship with David and Christine? This was the previous episode. And Cody's like, yeah, I could, you know, I could see going on a guy's trip with David. And then said something about a double date with David and Christine down the road, okay? Then it flashes to Christine and David. And Suki asks Christine and David. And David says, I would probably go on a guy's trip, but there would have to be some rules that were changed or set or something like that. And Christine doesn't rule out going on a double date down the road. Then Suki comes back to Kody and she says, David said he would go on a guy's trip and Christine didn't rule out. So they can't all be, I mean, that interview, those questions that she's asking Christine, do you guys get what I'm saying? Those obviously, it's not brain science. I mean, the questions she's asking Christine and David are coming from Kody's interview. So they have to all be there together, and they're not doing interviews over 4 days. Like, they're all wearing the same outfits, which means that Mary, David, Christine, Kody, Robyn, and Janelle are all there at the same time, okay? Probably in different dressing rooms over the course of a 12-hour day. So if that's the case, put them all in the same fucking room, make them sit there together, and let Kody look at Mary and say, Mary, that's a lie. Let Janelle look at Kody and say, Kody, you're a narcissist. You know, let them say it. This is what the audience wants. I am not protective of this family anymore. This family has blown up their own family, and that was their own doing, okay? They have bankrolled off of us, the audience, watching the show for 19 seasons. They have got careers off of that. Mary's got her LuLaRoe. I mean, they've got all these careers that they have off of that, okay? And sold all this bullshit. And they have social media careers where they do sponsorships and things like that off of the backs of the audience that have watched them. I don't think it's a lot to ask that they all have to be forced to sit in a room. And the ones that don't want to do it, get fired, period, okay? The show will exist without Kody and Robyn. Kody and Robyn don't offer anything to the show. They lie, first of all. I mean, at one point, Robyn says she's really tired of the rewriting of history. And I'm like, you're the one that's rewriting. It's so bizarre to me. So let's get into my notes now, since I've gotten into all of that. Let's get into my notes. Okay. So the first thing I talk about is Coyote Pass. Now, I did my notes a little bit different yesterday. I did them between, like, each segment before a commercial. I, like, put it all together. So it's Mary, and Suki's asking her about Coyote Pass and where it stands now. Now, where we are with Coyote Pass today in real life is not where they are filming the reunion, okay? And so Mary says that the property is paid off, but they're just figuring out how to divide it all. She says they don't trust each other, and that's part of why the family fell apart, because nobody trusts each other. And they don't have each other's backs. So if they don't trust each other and they don't have each other's backs, why would they trust each other when it comes to Coyote Pass? Then they play this whole Coyote Pass clip, which is about Mary and Janelle on the property, talking about lawyering up and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, what about Sister Wives Closet? Now, is Sister Wives Closet still an LLC business entity? Like, do they have to divide up? Oh, I forgot. Nobody ever got a check from Sister Wives Closet because nobody could sell that junk jewelry, not even a swap meet. But anyway, so then Suki asks why the lots were divided up that way, meaning that the lots. Okay, I never thought 30 years ago when I was getting my master's, 25 years ago when I was getting my master's degree, that one day I would be online explaining the breakdown of how Coyote Pass, I didn't even know what Coyote Pass was 20 years ago. But anyway, okay, so Kody has his name on each parcel, all right? Mary's only on a third of a parcel, so Mary really should get the least amount. It's all right, they've already been paid for all, Coyote Pass is done. The fact that, this is the other thing, is the fact that we already know, like, in real time, all the answers to these questions, and then production is acting like this is a big deal. Like, it's kind of a joke. It's really embarrassing, honestly. I mean, TLC, get your shit together. Find a new show. Find a new show to pump out, okay? It's just really sad. Mary said that she's pissed that she's pissed when it's interesting to me that they don't watch their own episodes. Like, they show this clip of Kody saying to the realtor that he doesn't need the wife's permission. And Mary says that pisses her off. There's several parts of the reunion where, like, they'll say, oh, I didn't watch that episode, or I didn't see Kody say that. And I think it's interesting, like, it's on the Housewives, I mean, they're really given a hard time if they don't watch their own episodes. I mean, it's like, if they don't come to the reunion prepared for what the episodes show, like, it's a big deal. And the fact that they just so nonchalantly act like they don't even watch the show they're on, then why should we be watching it? And why should TLC be paying you $40,000 an episode? I mean, and you guys are complaining about and fighting over money? I mean, it's ridiculous to me. $40,000 an episode. Sometimes Mary's like in a minute and a half of an episode. You know, I mean, I don't know how those financial contracts are written up, but whatever. She's pissed that Kody said that he didn't have to ask them for permission. But the reality is it's true. Because Cody's on every parcel of the land. She said she doesn't know why it was divided that way. And that when she would ask Kody, she said, I would get in trouble from Kody and Robyn. But then, this is where Suki is not a great interviewer. Because if I were the person, I'd say, how did you get in trouble? Like, what does that mean? Can you define getting in trouble for me? And then she does say something. She's like, well, what, like, how? And she's like, I can't talk about it. It's like always that. It's like, for me, it's such a, this could have been a one and done. Like, we did not need 4 parts to this. Janelle said that he always comes out ahead financially and that she feels like he thinks he's entitled to more money and that he's very greedy and he's very selfish. Christine says he's a greedy person regarding money and he will not be fair to Janelle and Mary at all. Christine says that Kody and Robyn spent more than the rest and that Janelle saw it when she was like the bookkeeper for the family. So there's always been this discussion about it being equal and all this kind of stuff, but apparently Janelle's told Christine, that was like one of the only things that came out the whole episode. Apparently Janelle's told Christine that Kody and Robyn would spend a lot more money and she would see it on her end, on the bookkeeping end, and that it wasn't really fair. Kody says that the first corporate paycheck that Robyn didn't get any of it. And I don't know what corporate paycheck they're talking about. I don't know if, like, the Brown family was LLC. Does anybody know about this? Like, when they started getting paid from TLC? Is that what he's talking about? It must be what he's talking about. And that Robyn didn't get any of it. Why would Robyn specifically get any of it when all the money I understood from the show all went into, like, a family plot kind of thing? I don't understand why one person would get paid out more. I mean, isn't that what they're fighting over now? To me, it's like this is more of the lies that we don't know the story with. And he says now that the children are older, meaning all the other kids that have graduated and they paid for their cars and they paid for their colleges and stuff like that, that it's not fair because they all helped, Robyn helped pay for all their colleges and stuff, but now that they have younger kids, nobody's helping with them. Well, Kody, you and Robyn probably should have thought about that. And you should have, specifically, Kody, probably worried about keeping your family intact until Brisha and Chiffon were out of the house to pay for their own ways, okay? But you do have $1 million home that you and Robyn could sell. A lot of people don't have $1 million home, okay? Or maybe your kids could get financial aid. I don't know. Maybe Brisha and Chiffon, are they even going to college? I thought they were going to church to find husbands, but maybe I'm wrong, okay? Are you talking about your other 2 kids? Those 2 kids, Solomon, and I don't know what that girl's name, Ariella Borealis or whatever. I don't know what their names are, okay? I don't care. They're never in the show anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But, so you think that the other wives should pay out because their kids, well, that's not how divorce works, okay? That's not how divorce works. And maybe you should have been a little bit more worried about keeping the family unit together if you were worried about Brisha and Chiffon getting their bills paid, okay? So then Mary says, this is when she starts talking about how she paid for Leon's college and things like that, and that nobody else contributed to it. And Mary says that she sat down with Kody, and that they constantly said that she never put as much money into it. I said this 6 seasons ago, okay, that it was interesting to me that they were all, when they moved into Vegas and getting the houses on the cul-de-sac, it was so interesting to me that Mary wanted a little bit more, and they were coming so hard on Mary, and I'm like, Mary has 1 child, okay? Every other wife has like at least 4 or 5 kids that Mary is contributing to, because what we were led to understand was that it was all this huge sum of money to put together. So Mary was contributing to the greater sum with 1 child, okay, that they were supposedly all paying for. So how was it fair when Mary was contributing to the colleges of 5 kids or the cars of 5 kids or whatever, and everybody was contributing just to 1 child? I didn't think it was fair at all. So then Mary sat down with Kody and Robyn, this is another thing that came out, and an accountant, and showed how much she actually did put in. And she said that after that, Kody and Robyn shut up because they saw that she actually did put that amount of money in. They asked Kody about Mary saying that she paid for Leon's college. Kody says that we all helped with Mary's house. I was like, what? What? That? He doesn't even answer the question. It's so bizarre. And then he says, it'll all be all right in the end. He says they wouldn't talk about sex and money before, but now sex and money are on the table. I'm like, what? You were the one that always talked about your buns of steel, your abs of steel, and your rock hard abs and your buns of steel. Isn't that talking about sex? Kody, you talked about that season 1. So I don't know why sex and money were off the table. You guys have always talked about money. When you were wanting to sell the houses in Vegas to go to Flagstaff so that Dayton could go to college, it was all about money. We got to get the money now. We got to get the money now. You've always talked about money. You didn't want to put money into the B&B for Mary, and Robyn was complaining about the money in Sister Wives Closet. You've always talked about money. You just don't want to talk about it now. You've always talked about intimacy in the relationships and which wives you're sleeping with and which ones you aren't, your diesel jeans model. You just don't want to talk about it now because it's not going to make you look great, okay? That's why you don't want to talk about it now. Mary says it's a lot of pointing fingers. She just wants Coyote Pass to be done so she doesn't have to deal with them anymore. And I thought that was very telling. He says that he was handling all the debt that he was handled by Janelle. This is interesting what Janelle says. Janelle says that with each wife, he attacks what he knows is most personal to them. So with Janelle, being fiscally responsible is what's most important to her. So that's why he attacks that with Janelle. For example, with Christine, he came to her and said he wasn't attracted to her anymore, when he knew that all she wanted was having a romantic, intimate relationship. And so he does this whole thing with each of them where he attacks them on the level that that's really sick. And I think that Janelle seeing that is very, very telling. Robyn says that there is totally a bias and a rewriting of history. Yeah, there's a bias towards you, and you and Kody are rewriting the history. And the fact that you can't see this is probably because you won't watch the clips and you don't watch the show. So you don't even see your own behavior on the show. If you did, you might see how the family perceives you and how the audience perceives you and why we all refer to you as Sob and Robyn, and literally Robyn Brown, the entire internet is against you, okay? Because of how you have acted through the years, not just this season, but through the years, you know? And then it's not, she said, it's not even, they're just trashing each other, and because I just can't participate in it. And she says, let's just be honest. We just need to all be honest with each other. I think they're trying to, and I think you don't want them to be. Janelle says there's a cycle for narcissists of love bombing and fixing, and that's what Kody did. And Suki asks her if she's saying that Kody's a narcissist, which I think is so great. I mean, this was one of the greatest moments in Sister Wives history. And Janelle says, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I won't diagnose. But there's a lot of similarities. So Janelle, I think, co-signed what a lot of people online have been saying for a long time. Okay, then this commercial break comes back. She's asking Christine about the good times, and she's like, it was fun at the time, and it was a good time. And she said that Kody wasn't taking care of her physically, emotionally, mentally, financially. She was an independent woman. She was a completely independent woman, she says. She says that the sex was just an act after Robyn entered the picture, that they just did it basically because they both had to fulfill it. She takes a lot of responsibility for this and puts it on herself too. But she says that they just had to fulfill a physical need on both parts. She said they never talked about it. And she said, but when you have sex 5 times in a year, you know something's wrong. And he says that Christine was a good time experience. The fact that her ex-husband and the mother of his children defines his ex-wife as a good time experience was so fucking cringe to me. I was like, did you literally just call your ex-wife and the mother of your children a good time experience? I mean, maybe a one-night stand, but not the mother of your children. Like, that is so, it's just so, his behavior is so bizarre. And then he says, and then he catches himself, and he's like, I'm thankful for the children. He said, I'm really excited. He gets real weird and smiley and laughing. He's like, I'm so excited about her falling in love because it's what she always wanted, and they couldn't find it. They talk about how much Christine has moved on. They play this clip about PDA, and then this is just 15 minutes about PDA, and Kody and Robyn watch it, and Cody's laughing like the whole, he's like this. It's the only clip that he's like in it when David and Christine are kissing. It's so bizarre. He's like, and it's like the whole scene is all just David and Christine kissing, and he's so into it. I mean, I think what he's trying to do is show how okay he is with Christine having moved on and kissing David. That's what he's trying to do. I don't think he realizes that it comes off as extremely bizarre. It's bizarre, okay? I mean, most exes would sit there and be like, I don't really want to watch this. I'm glad she's found love. But do you know what, Suki? Like, I don't need to see my ex kissing somebody else. The fact that he's so into it, you know, like, I've said this for a long time. I mean, I'm civil with my two exes, and I wish them all the best. They're great guys. I don't want to see them out with their tongues down somebody else's throat. I don't want to see that. I don't need to go there. I don't have any emotional feelings towards them today, but I also don't need to see them, especially at the beginning. Like, that's, and I wasn't married to them, and we didn't share children. And that's so bizarre to me. I don't know that he's, like, getting off on it. He kind of, it's weird. So Suki asks her what's changed, and she says she has confidence now, and that she can be whoever she wants to be. And David believes in her, he says. She was starving for attention. Christine says that she wishes every woman would feel like she feels now. And then they ask each one how they feel about PDA. Janelle says she's loosened up a little bit, but she's still shy. Then the commercial break, and then it comes back, and it's more discussion about PDA. Robyn thinks, what Robyn thinks is affection, Kody thinks is subtle. She doesn't want a full makeout session. Trust me, baby, ain't nobody wanting that from you and Kody. Nobody's asking for a full-on makeup. I mean, I wasn't asking for it for Christine and David. I wasn't asking for it from them, okay? I sure as hell don't want to see it from Kody and Robyn, all right? Then she asks them all about their PDA and what their limits are. And this is the point, like, what their limits are. Mary's like, well, hugging and holding hands. And I'm like, are we really doing this? We're like 50 fucking years old, okay? Like, I would never, I can't even imagine a conversation where I would ask my friends, like, what are your limits on PDA? Okay, I mean, none of these people are part of the church anymore. Christine's been gone for like 4 years. Mary's been gone for like two years. Janelle's been gone for like 3 years, lives half across the country and started a farm. Why are we asking? Kody and Robyn are a married couple. I mean, and they've been married for a long time. Like, if they want to have full-on PDA, that's their business. Like, why are we even having this question? It's so weird. It's production's idea of, like, thinking that the audience still buys into the concept of what Sister Wives was season 1. We don't give a shit. They're not innocent. We know that now, okay? They're none of them innocent. Anyway, so Kody always wanted more PDA. He had it with Mary and Janelle, but he didn't. But it didn't. He had it with Mary, but not with Janelle, and it didn't bother Janelle. Mary would do PDA, but then Janelle's mom told him to cool it. I've heard that. We've heard that story before. He envied it with the other families that were polygamous that could do it and have their wives all kiss on him and stuff like that. Do you remember the one episode where they were trying to fool the people into thinking the researchers that came there to study, and they all brought him like dinner at the same time? Do you remember that? Those are the days of Sister Wives that I miss. Like, that they were trying to show that they were subservient to him, but they weren't really. It was all a joke. He said he envied it with the other families, the other polygamous families that could have, like, all the wives kissing on him. I thought that was really telling. Like, he's really never said that before. And I was like, that is so interesting that you really, really feel that way. Robyn says if they could have just accepted each other, and she blames it on the family rules, which doesn't make any sense. This is going to stop in a second. Hold on. Okay. And she blames it on the family rules and say the family rules never made any sense. And I'm like, well, you probably didn't think they made any sense because you were tongue-kissing Kody as he was walking out the door for Christine to have Truly at the hospital. Because you didn't want to follow the rules because you were the favorite back then. So why would you want to follow the rules? It wouldn't serve you to follow the rules, Robyn. They're working on my roof today. I was like, what is that sound? They're walking on the roof. Robyn said, so she goes on about these family rules, and she's like, none of the family rules made any sense. Then why did you agree to them? That's my question, okay? Now, Kody is saying that he wishes that he could have had 4 wives that would have kissed all over him at the same time, okay? Well, Robyn entered season 1. Robyn's saying the rules never made any sense, but she agreed to them, okay? So now when they're talking about a rewriting of history, Robyn is saying everybody else is rewriting history. Well, Robyn's saying the rules never made any sense to her, okay? Well, she's never said that before. She's never said those. She said, no, I want to follow these rules. I want to be part of this. She has been the one that has pushed polygamy the most. Kody has always talked about equality of intimacy in the relationships, especially in those early seasons. So here is literally, okay, proof of rewriting of history. They talk about the rules versus respect for each other. And Christine says if you see it, and you're like, if you see somebody else having PDA, and this is where I think the PDA thing does come up, but Christine's talked about this before. None of this is new. She says if you see it with another wife and your marriage is terrible, then it hurts. And Christine says, she goes on and on about that. And then Kody says the last time he and Robyn showed PDA, they got kicked out. And he won't say what it's about. It basically insinuates that Janelle and Mary went crazy. I don't know. Maybe he can't say. He won't say. So I'm assuming that maybe it was Garrison's funeral. He says it's a story that can't be told because it's detrimental to your life. So you and Robyn holding hands or kissing at some function that we have no clue what it is because you won't address it. And when Suki asks you, he turns his head and won't talk about it. Is so detrimental to your life, and you think we should continue paying you $40,000, well, $80,000 for you and Robyn an episode of a show that you won't even respond to what you put out there into the world? Fire them, TLC. Fire them. In the show. The show needs to be over, okay? We are so hanging on by a thread at this point. The show is stupid. The show is dumb, okay? I always come in on the tail end of these things. With Vanderpump Rules, I watched 9 seasons that ended on the 10th. This show is done, okay? I binge watched all the seasons last summer. It's over. The show needs to be done, okay? They won't even answer any of these questions. And he says he won't talk about it. He says, until Mary and Janelle are married, he will not show PDA and love to Robyn ever again. Because when true love is exposed, the world hates it. And I'm like, what? Now, this is another rewriting of history because what it is that you brought in Robyn under false pretenses, okay, that you wanted her to be alone. You weren't intimate with your other wives, so you had to have somebody else. And so Robyn was the one that you wanted to be intimate with because she was younger and she was thinner. And that's the truth, okay? That's why you're so fixated on these women's looks and their bodies and that Robyn had makeup on, okay? If you put all the pieces together, they talk about the camping trip, okay? And how Janelle and Christine would be working while Robyn was putting on her makeup, and then Kody would say, oh, Robyn, you and the girls look so great, okay? Well, that tells you what his focus is on. His focus is on physical attraction, okay? Which he didn't have with Mary, Janelle, and Christine anymore. So then Robyn walks into the picture, and apparently he's fucking her like crazy, okay? Which is why none of the other 3 wives were getting it, and he wasn't investing any time in that, all right? Robyn enters the picture, and she will abide by these rules, okay, publicly for television, but she don't agree with the rules, which is why she breaks them any chance she gets. Because what she should have done if she agreed with the rules was when Kody came to kiss her, okay, when she was going to the hospital for Christine to have Truly, she should have said, no, Kody, you know this is not right. So when Robyn wants to talk about rewriting of history, go back to when Truly was born, because Robyn broke the rules then. So she wants to say she followed the rules. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So then it's back at Mary. Mary says she and Robyn were good friends at first, but it changed after they moved to Flagstaff and after the lockdown. Yeah, because of all the rules that Kody came up with. And Robyn came up with those rules too, and she will never admit to it. Then they play a clip of the Mary moving and Robyn giving her the gift, which was so ridiculous. What did Jen, her friend, call that gift? The homemade gift or whatever. Mary, they show Mary moving, and then Christine, they show Christine watching the clip, and she's just rolling her eyes at the giving of the gift. Mary says that Robyn, in that moment, was realizing that what she wanted and what she got were 2 completely different things. And I think she's 100% accurate about that. Robyn says that before Mary moved, that Mary said that things would be the same, but after Mary moved, Mary told her that she didn't want to be friends with her ex-husband's wife, 100%. She got some distance, she got some mental space, she had friends around her that were supporting her, and she didn't need you anymore. And she realized that. Thank God, okay? Because you were never a friend to her, Robyn. And Christine and Janelle both say that. Christine specifically says it, okay? Christine said that Robyn led her on, that led Mary on completely in believing that Kody still loves you, Kody still loves you, that Robyn would do that. And Christine's like, no friend would do that to you. She said, I would have told one of my sister wives, you need to leave. So the fact that Robyn did that was selfish, and it was for Robyn to keep her dream alive. And I think they're 100% true. They're all seeing Robyn for what she is. She says Christine says Mary's friends are absolutely incredible. She says Robyn was not a good friend to Mary at all. Kody says Jen, who I love that Kody brings in Jen. Are you ready for this? This was my favorite part of this part of the reunion. He says that Jen is jealous of Robyn. Okay, I can just imagine Jen and Mary sitting at that house, okay, in Parowan, Utah, laughing their asses off watching this back as Kody says that Jen is jealous of Robyn. Because Robyn was a true friend to Mary in a way that Jen never can be. Because she's not a sister wife. What the fuck? Is everybody in the world jealous of Robyn? Are we jealous? What are we jealous of? Can somebody tell me what we're jealous of Robyn? Her fantastic eyebrows? I am not sure what we're all supposed to be so jealous of Robyn about. The thing is that the idea that Kody has is everybody is jealous of Robyn because Robyn got Kody, and Kody is the ultimate prize, okay? That tells you about how arrogance, ego, and pride lead his life, because he is so self-centered that he thinks that everybody is jealous of Robyn because Robyn is the one that ultimately got Kody in the end. Nobody fucking wants you, not even your kids, okay? Kody, listen to that. Nobody wants you, not even your kids, because of how you treated them. Nobody is jealous of Robyn, okay? Nobody wants what you're giving them anymore because you never gave them anything to begin with. Christine says she feels like Robyn was manipulating Mary. Robyn says she wants to fix things with Mary, but it's not reciprocated. Suki says Mary feels really icy in that moment. And Mary says, nope, not icy. I just don't have any feelings anymore. She has no emotional attachment to them whatsoever. So she doesn't want anything to do with them. She has no emotional attachment. She's done. She's worked through it. She's worked through the pain and the healing. I understand that. Then it goes to this whole thing about, is there a difference between David and Kody? I really, to be honest with you, Mary gets real defensive of Kody in this moment and says it's not fair. I don't think it's fair to David. I mean, it makes David look really good, honestly, but I don't think it's fair to David. I mean, David signed up for this last season. He didn't ask to be compared to 18 seasons of Kody Brown. You know what I mean? And they talk about the camping, Robyn doing her makeup. Kody would praise Robyn. They talk about the luggage on the luggage rack because Kody would always take the luggage rack. And then it says David put the luggage on Christine's rack, and that to Christine it was symbolic of how he thinks about her. Janelle agreed with that. Kody says, and then Suki asks Kody if that was true about the luggage rack. And he's talking about the luggage rack on top of the car. He acts like he feigns ignorance, like he doesn't understand what she's even talking about. He's like, no, because we drove this car. She's like, you slept in the car? He's like, no, he slept in a hotel room. She's like, they're talking about the luggage rack in the hotel room. He's not stupid. This is where Kody plays so stupid. And then she finally looks at him for an answer about the luggage rack. He goes, I don't know. I don't even remember. And then his response is, Christine will spend the rest of her life comparing herself to Robyn. I mean, it is laughable. It is laughable at this point. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he literally thinks these wives are so, that they just sit around their house and Kody's like, they're so jealous of you, Robyn. She's like, I know. I mean, it's so bizarre. He won't even answer about the luggage rack thing. He says they constantly compare themselves to Robyn. Okay, I've now watched 28 episodes of this season and nobody is comparing themselves to Robyn. Not one person, okay? Not one person is comparing themselves to Robyn. And then Robyn says she gets the luggage rack. It's so dumb. Robyn says, I don't know, maybe I put it on there myself. She says she did. It's so funny because they act like they don't care about the luggage rack. Okay, Christine and Janelle are literally laughing about it, okay? They're like laughing their asses off about this luggage rack because it's so ridiculous that that's such a symbol of their marriage, right? And then it flashes to Kody, and Cody's like makes up this huge preposterous lie about the luggage rack on top of the car. And then Robyn, when Suki asks her, she's like, I don't know. I always get the luggage rack. Maybe I put it on there myself. It's like this, to Kody and Robyn, it's like they're so ate up with this shit from 20 years ago. No, you guys are the ones that are obsessed with everybody else, okay? You haven't moved out of it yet. It's so weird. Mary says she didn't even want to participate in that because she didn't want to compare them or complain. She didn't think it was fair. I'm like, Mary, get a sense of humor, honey, okay? That call from Kody. Somebody says in my last episode why Kody called her 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks before the reunion, and said that Kody was trying to get Mary together. Well, this is where he got Mary together, okay? Because she's like, I'm not going to compare David and Kody. That's not fair. Why you are still protecting this man after, he let you sit in a house by yourself for 4 years, Mary, okay? Yeah, it was 100% abandonment. The man was emotionally abusive to you. The fact that you still cannot say that on public television is mind-blowing and baffling to me. That you are still protecting this man, okay? Anyway, she says, why are they, and then Robyn says something about why are they talking to David about Kody, or Mary says that or something. And I'm like, no, Mary says, why are Janelle and Christine talking about comparing David to Kody and the luggage rack? Okay, first of all, Mary, if you watch the episodes of which you get paid $40,000 to be on, and be prepared for the reunion where you're going to be asked questions about your fucking show, this pissed me off with Mary, okay? Then you would know that it was a question that Janelle had to answer for a game, okay? And when she was asked, she said that. And she was laughing about it with Christine. It was a joke between two ex-wives. All right? Mary, you got some healing to do. Because you are still siding with... It is so weird to me. I don't know. It's so weird when you're like siding with the person that did you the worst, you know? I'm not going to say Stockholm Syndrome, but it's weird, okay? It's weird. I don't understand it, Mary. Like... I know you don't really get along with anybody in the family, but Kody and Robyn do not have your back at all, okay? 1 second you're saying that you want to just be done with Coyote Pass, you don't have anything to do with them anymore, but then in the next scene you're saying that you don't think it's fair to Kody to compare them. You need to lay it out on the line, because I'm telling you, he isn't doing you any favors. Janelle told you on Coyote Pass. He has no problem talking about you publicly. But anyway, I guess we'll find out more next week in season 19, episode 29. Part 4 of this so-called reunion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.